All right, so today what I want to do is look at a piece of equipment that if you shoot any kind of video and you want to get paid for it, you're going to absolutely need on your camera. Now, what I'm talking about is a VND. Let's go ahead and take a look at why this piece of equipment is so critical for you as a professional shooter, and if this FREEWELL V2 is one that can help you get better at what you do. Okay, there's no doubt if you're out there and have shot and tried to get any kind of pay for your work, you very, very quickly discover that a camera and a lens is just one small part of what is required for you to create professional looking images that will actually get you paid more and feed your family. And one of the most important pieces of equipment, bar none, for anyone that's done any kind of shooting is going to be neutral density filters. And for those who don't know what a neutral density filter is, that essentially is something that you put in front of your lens that cuts the light hitting your lens. And why would you want to do this? Well, it's pretty obvious. There are going to be times you want to control the exposure. Now, the classic exposure triangle is going to be ISO, aperture, and shutter speed. However, there are going to be times that you don't want to compromise on those things in order to get the desired exposure of an image. So if you want to shoot at a wide open aperture of say 1.2 or 1.4, and you don't want to compromise on your ISO, you want to shoot at 800 to get the most dynamic range of your sensor, or you don't want to compromise on your shutter angle, that 180-degree shutter angle, you're going to need to control the exposure one other way. And NDs are the key to doing that. Now, the key between a traditional neutral density filter and a variable neutral density filter is that a VND is variable. It'll allow you to actually dial in different strengths based on the filters. And what I want to do today is take a look at one that I just recently came across, which is the FREEWELL V2 system. Now, full disclosure, FREEWELL did send me this to review. But that being said, I actually have a number of FREEWELL systems that I've purchased on my own. They're just a really solid brand, so I was interested to see how they approach it, because this is one of those filters that I think if you are an indie filmmaker or a content creator and need something simple and quick, this could be something that really, really helps you up your game, and it's not complicated and gets you kind of running right out the door right away. All right, and now this is the FREEWELL V2 system. Now, as you can see, it comes all in one case. The case comes with the filter, and it's nice. It's got a magnetic lock, which I like because if you hold it upside down, nothing comes falling out. And the case is it's really well thought out. I mean, it's got this little lever here that you can put other things in there, and you can pull it up, and you can see you can access the other filters and stuff, or if you need adapters, very, very easy, pop it back down and you're good to go. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at really what the coup at the start of the show here, and that is going to be the VND filter system. Now, one thing about this system that I find very interesting is its design. Now, you can see it's extremely streamlined, and one of the nice things that I found came with this V2 that I don't see very often is they give you both a lens cap for the filter and a lens back for the filter. It's just not something you see very often, and it's really super important because if you're someone like me who takes these things out in the field and beats the tar out of them, your glass gets scratched super fast. And this is a really, really nice way to protect your filter investment. And you may ask, like, what's the point of spending money on filters if you've got good glass? Well, remember, your glass is only as good as the filters that you have on front of it. If you put a terrible filter on the front of your glass, you're going to degrade that beautiful piece of glass. So investing in good filters is one of those things that helps you protect the investment on your glass and your camera itself. And the other thing about this that I absolutely love is it comes with cases, it comes with filters, and check this out. It's magnetic. Boom. You don't have to worry about screwing things on in the middle of the field. So it is a very, very simple system to go. Same thing with the lens hood. You can pop it off and boom, all together. Kind of a satisfying sound, isn't it? So having magnetic filter systems makes this very, very efficient, because not only can you quickly slam this on the front of your camera or take it off, but you can also stack it. This is a stackable system. There are actually mist filters and other things like that if you want to, you can stack on the front of this filter. So it makes it a very versatile filter. And the other thing about this that I think if you are a content creator makes this very, very interesting is this is actually a 2-in-1 filter system. This little thing right here, see how streamlined that is? It is actually a circular polarizer and a 3 to 7 stop VND at the same time. And the way they access this is really, really cool. We're gonna go outside and take a look at how to put this on your camera in a minute, but it's one of those things that Having that 3 to 7 stops of ND really allows you to have a ton of control in how you light. And this isn't just something you're gonna use outside. I actually use VNDs and circular polarizers on almost every interview I do inside a lighting control situation. And the main reason why I want to do that is because when I'm doing an interview, because the autofocus has gotten so good, I really like to shoot interviews with a pretty wide open aperture. I'll probably often shoot them at a 1.4, 1.2, and that much light is going to really be hard to do natively with your lens. And what this allows me to do is it allows me to get those interviews shot at a really soft, creamy aperture, because I want to focus on the people a lot of times and have the background a lot of times almost as a texture, but not as a distraction. I really want my characters to pop, and a VND is one of the most essential things to help me do that. And the circular polarizer actually is super important when I'm shooting people. And the reason why is a circular polarizer allows you to, if you rotate it, it will take out reflections, and that includes on people's skin. So a lot of times when you're doing interviews, people may have some shiny skin. You can do makeup, but man, a polarizer is a great way just to take a little sheen off and get rid of kind of problematic things when you're shooting. It's also great for product photography, and of course, anytime you're doing outdoor stuff. Now, one of the big questions I think a lot of people have when they're looking to invest in a VND is what size do you want to get? This is one of the big strengths, I think, of this V2 system. There's not a multiple sizes. You don't have to worry about getting lenses and maybe outgrowing this at the end of the day. The V2 only comes with a 82mm base. But what's great about this is Freewell has designed the system so you can literally have very easy adapters that can go with different lenses. So for instance, on this lens, it's a 77mm lens. Well, I can get a Freewell 77mm adapter, and check this out. I can go ahead and screw this right here on the front of my camera. And even for someone like me that likes to have UV filters on the front of the lens, well, check this out. I got that on there, and look at that, boom. Pops right on. I want to take it off, I can pop it right out. It's just a really awesome benefit that this system can essentially go all the way up and all the way down with all of your lenses. And really 82mm is going to cover almost every lens that you're going to have realistically on your camera. And I just love how I can just pop that on there. It's good to go. The magnetic system is just one of those things, once you kind of experience magnetic filters, you really are never going to want to go back because you just don't want to sit there and screw it. If I'm on the field and need to go and change this, I can pop this right off. Okay, so I thought I would come out here now and take a look here at the Freewell V2 just to kind of see how it all comes together, because there's this little process. It's pretty easy to work together, and it's something you should really see to go. Now, the first thing I do want to point out is this right here. I love the fact that it's got this magnetic case cover that not only protects the lens, but it's got a back. So what that means is, let's say you don't want to carry the case for some reason, you just want to have a super streamlined platform. Look at that, you can take that, slip it in a pocket, slip it in a vest, whatever you have, and it's going to keep your lens protected and super easy to transport. I really like the front and back of this thing. Now, as you sit there and get ready to go, you do have the front element that you needed to go, and this kind of serves as the magnetic base for the entire system. Now, one thing you can kind of see here is this is an 82mm lens, but what's one good thing about Freewell is they designed the system to be completely able to go with anything. If you have a 77mm, if you have a 58mm, it doesn't matter what diameter your lens is, you can easily get a step-up converter that you can go to make every lens, which makes the V2 almost a universal system for almost every lens you're going to want out there. Now I'm going to go ahead now and just attach this here to the front of my lens element, just like I would any filter. And as you can see, it kind of lives on there. One good thing about this lens element, there's no glass on it, there's no nothing on there. So if you take this off, it just lives there, not gonna have a problem. Now, once I put the magnetic 82mm thread on there, now I'm ready to go. I can literally just take my filter and boom, look at this. Pops right on. If I wanna pop it off, boom, I can pop it right back off. It's an absolute godsend if you're in the field. I really hate having to screw in VND filters in the field and go through that. And I love the speed with which this goes. It really makes your life that much easier. And as you can see, it's a pretty straightforward and a very intuitive way to go. If you look on the side here, you'll see it's got an arrow, and that essentially is your polarizer arrow. So before you lock it down, what you want to do is you want to look through your camera and you're going to turn your polarizer to get the polarization where you want it. Once you get the polarization where you want it, you go ahead and lock these two screws. Now the good thing is, once they're locked, the polarizer isn't going to move anymore. Now you're in a situation where now you can control and turn just the ND part of it. And as you can see, it is a 3 to 7 stop ND. And what's great about this, there is no cross polarization. A lot of cheaper VNDs, what's gonna happen when you come to the end of the strength of it, you're going to get that dreaded X of death that you often will see in cheaper polarizers. This will not do that. You're going to have very, very consistent, no cross polarization where it goes. Makes your life very, very easy. The other good thing about this is, let's say you're in a situation where you want to add a filter on the front. So for instance, I have this snow mist quarter filter. Well, once I dial this in, I can go ahead and check this out. Boom, it's magnetic. I can add that Pro Mist filter on there. And there are a number of different filters you can get from Freewell that will work on this. If I want to take that off, boom, I just pop it off magnetically. It's gonna go. I can put it back in the case. So not only is this a polarizer, a VND, but it is a stackable filter system, and it all moves just that smoothly. It makes it an absolute pleasure to work in a field. And when you're using a system like this, you don't want to have a matte box, but you want to have all the pleasures of having that VND. This really, really gets you a chance to move quickly and go fast out there. Oh, and one last note about this that is important to know as well is, as you notice, I do have a 16mm lens on here, and when I put that on here, the V2 on here, even at 16mm, I'm not getting vignetting on the lens. It's very, very important. And they also say even if you put the Pro Mist filter on there, it can still give you no vignetting up to 17mm. So if you have a full frame camera and a big lens, you still don't have to worry about vignetting, which is a really, really nice thing. Now, remember, as I said, this is a stackable system. It's not just the VND and the circular polarizer. There's actually some cool little add-on filters that you can get in it. And I'm gonna throw this back on here just to show. Love that magnet. And this is one of them that I've really, really liked a lot. And this is a Freewell Snow Mist quarter basically mist that you can put on the front of your lens. It's really, really nice in the fact that this does not affect the shadows very much. It really, really only affects the highlights, and it doesn't affect your colors. What it does is it just gives you a nice little bloom to your highlights. This is a very, very desired look. It looks cinematic, and it's something that a lot of people are gonna wanna do. And what's great about this, you can see it's stackable. I can sit there and put that on there super, super easy. And it just lives. The profile is super low. It's very, very nice. If I want to take this off for whatever reason, I can pop that off and I'm good to go and put it back. Once again, this little thing is magnetic as well, so I can close that out. And what's really, really nice about this system is that Freewell gives you a lot of flexibility. Let's say for some reason, I don't want to use this V2 system, but I do want to have a nice mist on a filter that I have. I can take this off, and all I have to do is I can turn this around, and now I can use this screw this on as a traditional filter. And that gives me the freedom, as you can see right here, now it's screwed on. I have all the benefits of having a mist filter, and I don't have to use the V2. If I want to use the V2, I can, but it gives me a lot of flexibility. I really like this because I can have both a magnetic and a screw-on filter, and I love the freedom of that. Now, whenever I do a review of something, I do like to point out any areas that I think there are room for improvement or things you need to be aware of if you're going to use it. And I really do think this is a very, very solid system if you want to have a variable ND filter that's got a very, very low profile that you can run and gun with. The biggest drawback that I would say that you do need to be aware of is I love these locking pins that allow you to lock into your mount and then change the ND system. The problem is, for some reason, these are not countersunk or they don't have any kind of lock on there. So you do need to be careful. If you unscrew it too much to loosen it, it will completely come out. So I could definitely see these would be very, very easy to lose. I really wish they'd put some kind of a lock or some kind of mechanism to keep these things from falling out, because they do come out very, very easy. But that's the one thing I would say, if you're going to use that, you just need to be careful with that, because make sure these things are in there when you transport, because they are very easy to lose. But that being said, I mean, it's a very, very solid system that I think as a content creator will really allow you to go out there and shine. And I'll be honest, one thing I really prefer front of camera NDs versus back of camera NDs, because I do have the Canon ND system that sits here on the adapter for EF lenses. And my biggest problem with that is that I can't use any of my RF glass for that. And one of the good things about having a front of lens variable ND adapter is it allows you to basically utilize almost every piece of glass you'll ever end up using on your camera. No matter the camera, the brand, the lens, you can pretty much use this for almost anything until you get into giant cinema lens lines. Anyway guys, I thought this would be something that would be really, really interesting and just such an important thing for y'all to know about if you are out there shooting. I'd love to hear what you have to say about this. Leave me your notes and comments down below. And yeah, go out there, keep on shooting, and yeah, I'll talk to you soon.